These T-Birds just happen to be watching some of my shit. My name is JImmiPynk, and I can't wait to show you the fucked up shit I got in my closet. So, thank you so much for joining me for the season finale of season 2, Dragula, and congratulations to Bitch Pudding. That's who I was rooting for. She was happy. I was happy she won. We're going to get into that in a moment. I apologize. I got in full geesh today, or as much as full geesh as I'm going to get into, because Lord knows I got to go back in the RuPaul's Drag Race next week. But as many of you may know, there is like what they are calling the ice apocalypse in the eastern half of the United States. And I'm in Ohio, so we getting the trickle down, and the allergies and sinuses is crazy. And as soon as I put these lashes on, they was like, bitch, not tonight. There will be no contacts. So, enough about me. Let's get into this shit. Well, actually, you know what? It's damn appropriate if I would spend half of the fucking episode talking about last episodes and other times that I was in drag and shit like that, because that's what the fuck they did. I want to talk about the good shit. We're going to get into the looks and all that because that's my favorite part. However, it took half the goddamn show to get to that part. I crammed to understand this shit. Here's what I'm going to say right now. This is now the 4th episode, and there was a whole lot of filler in it. You had 10 girls, so I'm sure they signed for 10 episodes. But the way y'all shit was going, it didn't work like that. Whatever the fucking case may be, if you got all that time for all this filler shit we've been getting the last 4 episodes, then you need to step it up to 12 or 14 girls. Period. But speaking of this filler, I'm used to that good Boulay Brothers skit at the very beginning, and we got it. But what we got at first was a whole recap of the whole season. Now, is it me, or should that have been in last week's episode? If we was going to do it at all. Or hell, you could have took all the filler from these 3 episodes, gave us what we needed, and threw together a clip show in between the Last Supper and the finale like Drag Race do. I know y'all trying to do it different, but damn, maybe it's a reason why that shit work on there. Damn, I hate when I do that. Plus, nobody really likes the fucking throwback clip show anyway. But then we got the Boulay Brothers skit, and they were looking fantastic as always. And we got the other 3 characters, and the other 3's deaths, which I have to talk about that. Let me get back to where the notes is at. First of all, yes, we get to see how the other 3 died. So, the first thing that I noticed was, why is Victoria spitting up Erica Clash's blood? Am I the only one that felt that? I was like, don't that look like Erica's blood, that blue shit all coming out your mouth? Like, I guess. And then James was cracking me up in his. James had me on the floor dying. Like, that shit was so funny. Ooh, yeah, we gonna do it like this? Yes, 9 feet, daddy. 8 feet, daddy. Like, that shit was cracking me up. Bitch Puddings, I thought that was kind of weak compared to the other 2 final 3s. Maybe, I don't know. But, then I was just like, wait, another hold up. This shit where they was doing just the sound bites of the different stuff while doing these long extended shots of the crown and the jewels and the scepter. And I get it, they're a sponsor, but for real, it had to have been a better way to do that. It had to be a better way to do that. And then I'm also kind of disappointed. I'm jumping, But just thinking about the drag jewels and the crown and everything, I'm disappointed that Vander wasn't there like they do in the midst of any other pageant to crown the new queen. I found that odd. But I found a lot of shit about this episode odd, because for real, the shit that I really wanted to see in the episode probably only took up 15 to 20 minutes. I ain't lying. Yeah, that filler, like, that's what I said. That's when I got to the point, was like, you know what, next year y'all better have 14 girls and I better not see all this shit. So we get the final three discussed in the last episode. They could have kept that. They could have kept that. What I did like is when they were doing the talking heads, where they clearly were asking the girls, how did you get into drag? What does drag mean to you? Why do you want to be the next drag supermonster? Type of question and answer, but they was just, giving the answers. That part I found interesting. That part I felt like we should have saw more of. Then we get to them doing their basically Tic Tac lunch. Let's call it what it is. Like, it's formatted after Drag Race. Let's call it what it is. The Tic Tac lunch. And they're showing, because that wasn't in the episode, they showed where they said, we want to talk to you three girls separate after the end of the taping, but we never saw that they actually sat down and talked to each of the three. So if they would have did that in this episode, that would have been cool. And they kind of did, but we ain't get the whole thing because we too busy at, let's go back and look. And what really pissed me off about that, I was okay with that. The way they formatted, the way they edited it together, I was okay with that. Had y'all not already spent 10 fucking minutes showing us past clips of last season. The Last Supper was just yesterday, which was just last week, which was a rehash of the whole season. And then for each of the three girls that you're just doing like a sound, basically their greatest hits or whatever you want to call it, their moments, you using a lot of the same sound clips, a lot of the same clips that was in the intro where they was doing the full recap of the episode, and a lot of the same ones was when y'all was showing off the crown and it was just a sound bite. I had to hear James call Monique a trigger-happy alcoholic from that one scene 3 times this episode. Get the fuck out of here. Like, y'all got to do better with that. I ain't gonna front. Y'all got to do better with that. Like, I know it's working out kinks, because the first time it was real underground. Now y'all got to budget everything. Y'all got to work this shit out, because that shit ain't gonna fly. But I was like tripping balls when the Boulay brothers came out with 2 different hairstyles. Gagged. And then it took me a minute to figure it out, because I haven't seen this movie in a while, but it's one of my favorites and probably a lot of people's favorites amongst the Dragula crowd. I said, this shit is the fucking Rocky Horror. At the end, when Magenta and Riff Raff is going home and they try to do a mutiny over Frankenfurter, and they got on them space suits, and Magenta's hair is kind of up like that. It's not, hers is more a little bit more broad as Frankenstein, but it's like that, and then Riff Raff's hair is like that. I'm like, and the outfit was like that. I'm like, the bootlegs is just fucking sickening. They are just fucking sickening. Speaking of, I forgot to say, I like they shout out, like, when they was calling to, like, the overseers or, like, the gods, Dragula, and they was calling, like, the divine, and, what was it? It was divine was filth, horror was vampire, and, glamour, gag again. They said Miss Liberace. I said, for glamour, y'all ain't say RuPaul, the supermodel of the world, the original Glamazon? Shade. But I've been living for their little RuPaul jab, jab, nudge, nudge, wink, wink, shade all along. But it is nudge, nudge, wink, wink, shade. Because if y'all actually ever looked at it, RuPaul Charles is a producer. IJS. Can't beat him, join him. Might as well make his coins too. So let's go ahead and get into these looks. have a small drink first. Refreshing. Let's get into these looks. So, glamour. This is what killed me. I got my favorites. I'm going to tell y'all the truth. Let me just get to this before we get into these pictures. Because I know that's what y'all all waiting for. And the longer I get to that, the longer you got to watch the video. I'm fucking with you. Come on, grass. Y'all know how I am. I was rooting for bitch pudding. Originally, I was Team Victoria. Bitch won me over. Victoria started sleeping a little bit. She was sleepwalking a little bit. She was giving me some pearl teas. But if I had to say, if this was the deciding factor, was this episode, I kind of think Victoria did the best out of everybody. So let's get into the looks and I'll tell you why. So first in the glamour department, we had bitch pudding. I hated her shoes. I hated that thirsty ass bob wig. I don't hate a queen in short hair. I ain't never been that type. I don't wear it that often because obviously I am a real fucking girl. So if I'm going to exaggerate, I'm going to exaggerate the things that need exaggerating, like my hair. So I don't wear short hair too often. But I don't knock queens with short hair. But that wig was looking drier than the motherfucking Wasteland Weekend. And then them cheap ass silver pumps. I can't even say them is from Payless, because Payless has stepped they pussy up since the 90s when I was a kid and Payless was cracking. I don't know where them silver shoes was from. Them was some Cupids. Them wasn't even pleasers. Them was some Anne Michelle's. What's the other cheap ass brand? Wild Rose. Them was some cheap ass silver shoes, honey. I'm sorry. And then they were silver for no reason. The dress was not cute. I just didn't care for it. I didn't find it glamorous at all. And that was their favorite glamour look. Victoria. I agree with the taller boule. I loved her look. It was a little overwhelming only because I honestly, unless it is going to be something phenomenal, all black is just not, you ain't got no rhinestones, no nothing like giving me that, what's the bitch name? Shouldn't have won. Violet Chachki tees with like the cage. I know like that is a historic reference in Victoria, Elizabeth Black. Victoria is the right name for her because for Victorian era and all like them old dark gothic, that's her wheelhouse and she does it well. But this length of this fucking dress. And I'm sure in her mind, the length of that dress was because you could see that she had on them like big ass, like, you know, S&M heels with like the real high heel. And she almost tripped too. She almost busted ass in them shoes too. But really, that would have took that outfit to a whole nother level if that was floor length. Flat out. She would have had, well, no. She would have still been the same order because we got to talk about James. Which I expected James to bring it with the glamour. But that gown and that bottom with them feathers, and she had that raven and that makeup that was with the red contacts and the red glitter, like she had been crying because she was doing the whole thing like she lost her lover. I didn't know nothing about ravens mating for life. I was just getting Edgar Allan Poe, like dark gothic raven. But then she had like the black feathers on the bottom and then like the little bit of red glitter on the lip. But them red rhinestones and them feathers had the little bit of red glitter. Bitch, that was fucking perfection. Her pussy was on fire on that one. So, obviously, my favorite was James. I don't know how they said their favorite was bitch out of them three looks. I don't get it. Next to filth. I was not feeling James's filth at all. I'm like, girl, that's what you went with? Some flip-flops, some girl skinny jeans, and a wife beater? And I understand she was like basically being like this dirty, you know, white trash hillbilly type character. But the like big sausage and the mustard, I just was like, if I'm coming to win and I'm doing filth, that ain't what I'm doing. That might be cute for a gig. But if I'm trying to win, I'm like, no, that didn't take it far enough for me. I'm sorry. I was about to say the same thing, because I was like, for real, now you coming out as a janitor? I'm like, bitch. And not bitch calling her by name. That bitch. Like, bitch. Really? But then the shit she was doing on stage, I had to turn my face. I'm like, oh, you blowing my eye right now. Like, and that's the euphemism. As up. That's a euphemism. It couldn't. It was disgusting. Her drinking the mop water, eating the fucking hairball, sucking on her toes, the dirt, the grossness. And I was like, okay, bitch, pudding came to play. But then Victoria, bitch. Victoria took it there. Victoria took it there. When she came out with that cadaver, I was like, she gonna fuck this cadaver. I knew. I seen it coming. I'm like, because it was filth. I'm like, she gonna fuck this cadaver. But when she was like fucking it and cutting it open and eating like the intestines at the same time and all that shit, and then she was doing like the gas, like she was getting high while she was doing, like she was just like this Victorian lady that like worked in the hospital, but she was just fucked up. That was some American Horror Story level shit. That shit was everything. And obviously, Victoria was my favorite out of filth. Horror. Now, I tell y'all this all the time. I'm not a horror fan by any means. I'm scary. I don't like gore. I don't like shit like that. But this horror, all of them are like great makeup artists and all that. I'll give you all that. But when I seen Victoria and I was like, come on. Oh, the old Taylor can't come to the phone because she's dead. Because that's what I saw. I'm like, oh, zombie. Okay. Or raised from, yeah, basically zombie. I'm like, oh, okay. Makeup, outfit, everything. Impeccable. But zombie? A little cliche, isn't it? Then James came out. As a clown. I said, come on, Beetle It. And it was creepy. I'm not one of these people that's scared of clowns, but that shit creeped me out. Like, that was creepy. They needed to hire her because she looks creepier than Pennywise did in the new It. She looks creepier. She looks creepier. Like, that shit was fucking creepy. But again, the creepy clown is cliche. And then, bitch. Now, for me, this works so much better in the shadows than it did as an actual look. But in the shadows, with like the Stevie Nicks, like airy swoopy, going around, spinning around, and the hair looks crazy, and just like them two red eyes coming out the dark, that shit was fucking terrifying. Then we actually seen the whole look. I'm like, the teeth were creepy. The way that the eyes were lit up was just not. It looked not creepy. It kind of looked like a craft project to me personally. Even though I know my shit look like a craft project, but hey, I ain't on the TV show trying to win no money. And then the gown she had on, I felt was more glamorous than the dress that she had on for glamour. But based on the fact that her character was basically original compared to these other two cliches, bitch was my winner for horror. So they all had one, in my opinion. But I think out of everything, if I'm saying bitch was my best out of horror, I mean, James and Victoria, to me, stuff was actually executed better. It was just cliche as balls. But if I got to go overall, I mean, Victoria was consistent. It was a consistent, never in my bottom 3 for any of the 3 categories. So I really thought Victoria might have pulled this shit out, but then they crowned bitch, and that was great. And of course, we have like the nod to Carrie with the blood dripping, which is the appropriate way to end Dragula, except for where is Vander, and why is Vander not crowning bitch? And I understand that these are working drag queens, and maybe she had a gig, but I would think that that would be in your contract that you got to be here to film the finale. I would think. But who knows? So I say that to say this. Thank you all so much for rocking with me all season for Dragula Season 2. It has already been greenlit for Season 3. So I'll definitely be back for that next week. RuPaul's Drag Race All-Stars Season 3. I don't get to get out of Geesh till motherfucking March, motherfucker. Probably not even till April. I don't get to get out of Geesh. More costumes every week. And to tell you the truth, Drag Race is more my wheelhouse. So I'm kind of excited for doing like costumes and looks for that, because that's more a little bit in my wheelhouse. But I want to thank all of you for watching with me all season, and stick with me for Drag Race next week. Thank you to my patrons as always, because basically my show is brought to you by them. Whether I ever get ads on my videos again or not, the motherfuckers could just give me my $7 so I can cash out and I ain't got to monetize the videos no more. But since I can't do that, if you would please assist me in helping me support my channel, there's a number of ways. There's merchandise, there's Patreon, there's one-time donations, and there's CD sales. So you done seen that shit popping up all goddamn episodes, you know what it is. So thank you so much for watching. Please let me know how y'all felt about this week, and how excited is y'all. This is like Dragageddon. Did y'all ever think that y'all would get like drag for like 6 months out the year? Like, we started this at the end of October, and you know Drag Race is like a good 14 episodes. We probably gonna go like a good straight 5-6 months with drag. How amazing is that? Awesome. So thank you for watching. Deuces.
Kamehameha attackers blazing, I'm so amazing. Japanimation, the anime on your cartoon station. So fulfilling, no adults swimming for about an hour. Revealing power, unorthodox amongst these cowards. Full transformation for Optimus Prime transformation. A good vibration from Rumble Pack.